If you are looking for simple recipes that use simple ingredients but taste delicious, this is the video for you. Hey y'all, I'm Mandy, and this is Mandy in the Making. We're gonna get started on lunch because lunch is gonna bake for quite some time. It's a different meatloaf, and if you know anything about our family, we love some meatloaf. Today's meatloaf recipe is our Subbie supper of the week, and if you aren't familiar, Subbie supper just means subscribers send in their favorite recipe, and we go through those and pick one each week. This one comes from Melissa, and she titled this one, Everyone's Favorite Meatloaf. Melissa is a mom to 2 kids, ages 7 and 4, which they may not still be 7 and 4 because this may be an old recipe. I go through old recipes that you guys send in. I have over 1,000, so I don't know when this one was sent in. They may be older than that now. She said her family owns a bakery and deli in her town that she lives, and it's been running since 1904 for 3 generations of their family. This particular meatloaf recipe is one that her mom made for her as she was growing up, and they always loved it. And she just remembers a lot of kids saying that they didn't love their mom's meatloaf because it was always doused in ketchup, but this one is just so different. We are totally stoked to try this because anytime we hear meatloaf, we get excited. First things first, let's preheat the oven to 375. Something she mentioned in her directions or her ingredient list is that you want 2 pounds of ground beef or meatloaf mix, which she gets from her grocery store, and I thought, or from a butcher, and I thought, I wonder if my grocery store carries that. I've never heard of that. Old Food Lion came right through. It is meatloaf mix. Never seen this before. So I'm doing 1 pound of this and 1 pound of just ground beef, but I thought that was neat. If you had never seen that, check it out. I'm probably the last to know. I usually am. Okay, but we're gonna start mixing all of this together. I'm gonna take my rings off, and I'm also gonna put on my oversized gloves that I have. And we're gonna get all of this mixed up. Well, I said we were gonna get it all mixed up. I forgot, I need to dice this onion. I have half an onion left. I think she said she uses about half a cup of diced onion. The original recipe, I think, calls for 1/3 cup. We love onion, so I'll probably go with just this whole thing diced up. Okay, I may not use that entire thing because that's more like a cup. So I'll just save the rest of what's diced. My eyes are burning. The other thing that she mentioned was using 1 to 2 cloves of garlic, fresh garlic. Now we're ready to mix everything up. I've added my meatloaf mix. I'm gonna add another pound because you need 2 pounds of meat. I don't know if I mentioned that. So I'm gonna add the other pound of ground beef. At this point, we're just gonna add in about 1/2 cup of this cream of mushroom soup. So I'm just gonna eyeball it. That's probably about right. We need 1/2 cup of breadcrumbs. I'm just using what I have, which is the Italian style. We're gonna add 1 egg, but I'm gonna beat it before I add it in there. Oven's ready. Add that in. Let's add in our onion and some salt. I think she said 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm just gonna eyeball that. And then we're also gonna add in our garlic. If you've never been here before, I have gloves that are way too large for my hands. Oh, my hands are a little sticky from that garlic. So maybe that's a good thing. Maybe they'll kind of stick to it. See what I mean? Okay, let's just get in here and mix all of this up. Okay, I don't want to over mix it, but I think that's good. I'm gonna grab my meatloaf pan and knock everything over. If you've never seen a true meatloaf pan, you can get it on Amazon. I have it linked to my Amazon store. That it looks like a loaf pan with handles, but the handles are not functioning handles to pick up the entire thing. The handles pick up the inside portion, which have holes to let all of the grease drain into the bottom. So when you're done with your meatloaf, you just pick the meatloaf up out of here and slide it off and leave all of the grease in here. It's a really cool thing. I did spray the bottom of my loaf pan with a little bit of nonstick spray. Probably don't have to do that. Now, she said to grab 4 or 5 pieces of bacon, the regular cut. I cut mine in half because they were so long. And we're just going to lay these on top and cover the entire meatloaf, which it actually, unless you wanted to lay it long ways, it works well if you cut it in half like that. All right, this is going in the oven just like this for 1 hour and 15 minutes or until it's done. In my case, I almost always have to bake mine for 1.5 hours to 1 hour and 45 minutes. You never can tell. So I've got some baked potatoes finishing up in here. If you don't know how to do baked potatoes in the air fryer, it's very simple. I will link a video where I did this in an air fryer video not too long ago. on how to do that, they turn out great. This just came out of the oven and it looks amazing. It smells amazing. I left it in for about an hour and 22 minutes and I checked it and it's done. So it actually probably could have just done the hour and 15 and it would have been okay, but we're hanging out here. Look how crisp that bacon is on top. Now we need to finish up the gravy for it here. So remember we used about half a cup of this cream of mushroom soup. We're gonna put the rest of it here and add a little bit of water. Okay, so about 1/3 cup of water is gonna go in. And I'm gonna turn this on to about medium and let this start to warm up. Now, we need 2 to 3 tablespoons of the drippings from this. So let's remove this out and get a little bit of that to flavor our gravy. I'm gonna lift it up by the little sides here, or the little levers here. There we go. And we're just going to put that there for now. And we've got drippings here in the bottom. So I'm just gonna add in a little bit of this flavor. She said 2 to 3 tablespoons. And I'm just gonna stir this together. And we're just gonna let this come up to a little simmer. In the meantime, my air fryer just finished, so my baked potatoes are done. I got it. I can get it.
Oh. Yay.
Look at that. I didn't quite bring the gravy up to a simmer, but it's hot. The Meatloaf King has entered the room. He will tell us if it's good or not.
Where's he at?
Haha, that would be you.
Okay.
I have a cameraman
I know.
that's different than my usual cameraman. Our normal eater, that's what Hank calls him. Our normal taste tester is at work.
Good?
You're gonna love this.
Really?
So juicy, not dry at all. That bacon is perfectly cooked. The little gravy, the cream of mushroom soup gravy, such a different approach to meatloaf. I hate Dad's not here. Okay, you try it. Someone doesn't want to be on camera today, but do you have thoughts?
It was great. It's amazing.
It is so good.
It was really good.
So Melissa, thank you for sharing your family's meatloaf with us because I love this. It's completely different than anything we're used to, but so much flavor. Do you know what I love? Alfredo sauce and chicken and bacon. Let's combine them together. This is an Alfredo chicken, bacon, bake. First things first. Preheat the oven to 350. Okay, the first thing we're gonna be doing is frying up some bacon, but we need to chop it up into little pieces. So that's what I'm doing here. I've got about 4 pieces of bacon. This is center cut bacon. It doesn't matter what kind you have. Let's take this over to a skillet on the stove. Okay, so let's just add that in here. And we're just gonna let that brown. But while that starts, let's go back over and cut up our chicken. I need to split my chicken breasts because they're rather thick. Okay, so I split 2 of them. One of them is not thick. So that's done. Let me wash my hands and we'll move on to the next step. We need to dice this red pepper. This way they're all exactly the same size. Why are you gonna do me like that? Sir? Okay, whatever. That's more like it. Beautiful. And then lastly, all I need to do is just chop up this parsley. This will be it for the end. I need to go check on that bacon. It's sounding good over there. It's also smelling good. Okay, just a couple more minutes on this. The bacon was done, so I drained, or not drained it, put it over here. I did leave the drippings, and we are going to pop our red pepper in here, and we're just gonna let this cook for a couple of minutes. While that cooks, I'm gonna season our chicken breast with a little bit of salt and pepper. I'm going to remember to take that off. The other day I forgot to do that and couldn't figure out what was wrong with my pepper, why it wouldn't come out. It helps if you take the lid off. These have been cooking for a couple of minutes. Let's remove it out with a slotted spoon to a bowl. You don't want them super soft. I think the recipe says crisp tender. So kind of in that in between. Now to the same skillet, let's add our chicken. We're gonna let it cook on this first side for about 4 minutes. All right, let's turn these over. It's been about 2.5 minutes. Let these cook for another couple of minutes on this side. Are you aware of something? You are. I know, princess. I know. I know. I know. Babe, did you fall over? There we go. Little old woman. Our chicken is done for now. It's gonna finish in the oven, but let's mix together a few of our ingredients. So when you take your bell pepper from the stove into a bowl, put it in a medium-sized bowl, because I'm having to transfer mine because this bowl wasn't big enough. We're gonna add about 1/4 cup of basil pesto, a 15-ounce jar of Alfredo sauce, just whichever one you want, and 1/2 cup of chicken broth, which I'm gonna pour in here. I'm gonna put the lid on it and shake it around, and that'll just get all the Alfredo sauce out of there. There we go. All right, let's mix that together. Now you see why I needed a bigger bowl. Okay, that smells good. All right. Let's put that to the side. It says to use a 9x13 dish. This one is a little bit bigger than 9x13, but it'll get the job done. I'm gonna spray it with a little nonstick spray. And we're gonna add our chicken breasts to the bottom. Keep in mind, these are not done. You're not cooking them all the way through on the stovetop because it's gonna bake for 30 minutes. So they will be done by the end. Then we're just gonna pour this mixture over top of our chicken. Okay, we do need to cover this, so I'm gonna grab some aluminum foil. Okay, this is going in a 350-degree oven for about 30 minutes till it's nice and bubbly and our chicken is cooked through. There we go. So the chicken is almost done and ready to come out of the oven for us to move on to the next step, but I have some broccoli steaming on the stove. Once the chicken comes out, I'm going to uncover it and make sure that it has come up to temperature and the chicken is completely cooked. And then I'm going to add about 1/2 cup to a cup of mozzarella cheese on top and put it back in the oven for 5 more minutes uncovered. Now that it is out of the oven, we are going to top it with our chopped bacon and our fresh parsley. And y'all, this smells amazing. We cannot wait to dig in. So for some reason, our microphone decided not to work during this part, but this is Steven enjoying the meal. He said it definitely had a little bit of a herb flair to it, which is that pesto peeking through. He loved it. Cole also gave it a thumbs up. They both just wanted to drink the sauce. They also loved the bacon flavor. The bacon flavor is definitely throughout because we cooked all of the veggies and the chicken. We kind of browned the chicken in the bacon grease. The bacon flavor is definitely there. This is so good.
You got that herby, garlicky, bacony, buttery, cheesy flavor, garlicky.
Go away. So the guys are already done with their meal and I'm almost finished with mine. Do not let this sauce go to waste. This would be a really great dish to make a side of pasta with. You could do some orzo or any type of pasta really and just cover it in that sauce because there's so much sauce. Oh my word, it's so good. I could drink the sauce.